I want to talk about React Native. An introduction about it. I want to talk about the main difference about React.js and React Native because I know that the most of you guys know React. Principal React is a library and React Native is a framework. They have similar structure in the components and the render. React Native doesn't use HTML to render the app, but provides alternative components that work in a similar way. Those React Native components map up the actual React Native iOS or Android UI components that get the render of the app. Most of the components provide can be related to something similar in HTML, where for example a view component is similar to a div or a span, and a test component is similar to a p tag. There is an example. ESPO is a library that helps React Native to improve some functionalities. You can choose if you want to use it or not. It's not mandatory. One of the things of the ESPO is that ESPO is limited. ESPO writing natively for each platform which provide access to the device system functionality, things like the camera, push notification, contact, local store from JavaScript. The SDK is designed to smooth of difference in platform much as the possible, which makes your project very portable because it can run in any type environment. ESPO also provides UI components to handle a variety of use cases that almost all apps will cover but are not built into React Native Core, for example, the icons, blur, views, and more. An example of that, for example, if you are going to install React Native elements and you already have ESPO, you don't need to install React Native Vector because it's already installed in ESPO. But if you are going to use the normal React Native installation, you have to install the vectors. I want to provide an example of the installation of React Native. We are going to do the installation in the normal way. You only have to install the global React Native client, and also you have to install the Xcode and Android Studio. To create a new application is very easy. You only have to run this command. For example, we are going to run it's like the same installation of React. The command is very easy to do it. Let's see that they create the folders for it. It has the Android and iOS files. This is an example of the React app. I'm going to show you other example that I have. We are going to run it in iOS. In React Native, we have something like the style web. You can do shapes as similar as web, CSS, and more. I create some examples. For example, for a diamond, I create two views and create a stylet similar to CSS. This is something similar to the web. You can do similar things as the web. We are going to talk about the Navigator. When I started to build my first mobile app with React Native, I was wondering how to navigate between two scenes. The first thing that I have done was to search for an alternative to React Router, this famous library that most React web apps use to transition between pages. I found a few libraries that do similar jobs, but there was always something I didn't like about them once. I tried. Either I was quite complete to use. I wasn't satisfied with the animation, wasn't customization the way I want it to be, or wasn't behavior or working properly on both Android and iOS device. Then I started wondering how navigates actually work, and I found the navigation component provided by React Native. I should have started from there, looking for an alternative of real router was in my opinion not the best idea. I think you always have to search if React Native have something about your needs. I, I have other application to do the example. This app is about routers. I use navigates and routes. And routes we can use as the same as React Web. You, for example, in this view with the hotels, with filters, we can see the details of the hotel. You can change between views with real navigation. You can see here the location of the details of the hotel. For example, in here we have React Redux. We have the provider, the store. We have also the router. Here we have an example of the two views. The home screen, that is the list of the hotel, and the second screen is the hotel details. And in the index I just have the router. This home router, for example, shows the container hub screen, that is the main screen. Okay. React Native use native code. React Native combines smoothly with components written in Swift, Java, or Objective-C. It's simple to drop down to navigate code if you need to optimize a few aspects of your application. It's also easy to build part of your app in React Native and part of your app using native code directly. That's how the favor app works. I have another example of it. With my coworker Carlos Turbes create this app about sending data from the React Native to the native code. I'll change a little bit about it. I'm going to show you an example of the app. In this case, we have the React component and we create default color in the state. We create the function that every 10 times we change the color of if. Then we pass the props of the to a custom view. This custom view is going to require a native component that we are going to identify. We define the native React class. And we receive a color in Java, and every time the color change, the native code is going to change the value of if. I can't see it. I have a problem here. Oh, I forgot to open the simulator, sorry. With this example, we can see how to pass data from React Native to a native code. So every time we click the button, it's going to add a value in the count of the button. It adds a value of the count and the button, and every 10 times is going to change the value of the color. And the color is changing in React, and the native code reads the change of the color. We can see the count. And this message is passing from React from the native code. And that's it.
That's it. Do you have any questions?
So I do have one question. How easy is it to optimize code in React Native so that it runs faster?
Optimize the code.
Yeah, optimize the code. So if you want to, let's say you see that something is not working well, you can profile it easily in Xcode or in Android Studio. Is it easy to check the efficiency of React Native code?
Yeah, we can run the application React in Android Studio or ESPO as well, and see the feature, for example, the memory and everything is happening in the app.
Okay. Okay. So it'll actually point you to what part of the code is being slowed, even in the React Native part.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you have any other question?
So in the React Native, was that pure CSS you used?
It's similar to the CSS, but it's not the same. React changed the sheets, style sheets to transfer that to the native. But it's similar, but it's not all the same.
Okay.
I have a question. Is it possible, or no? Actually, so if we start the application, like we create the React application with one of the tools, like create React Native, yeah. So can we immediately start adding OS code like Java and Swift code, or do we have to opt out from it, or we can start adding native code?
We can do it, for example, with code and do it with native code. You can also create the app with ESPO and remove it with the edit. You run a command and it removes the ESPO code.
Okay, so we have to opt out because we run a command. Okay.
Cool. Any other questions? So you're going to post all the code that you used, right? We can put it in the Admios repo so that you can use it.
For example, for the hotel, I create an Node.js server to run it. For example, get samples to get data from the server and everything.
Okay, awesome. So we'll put that in the final presentation. Thanks a lot.